James Hergott here, coming to you live from Tahiti, and this is my third blog, and the number 3 will be present in this video quite a bit. My goal with this video is to explain to you mathematically why, 1, you should definitely take chances in your life, 2, pursue your dreams, and 3, get out of basically bad situations, or maybe even situations that you may perceive as routine or you might perceive as safe but are actually toxic to your life. This could apply to many things. This can apply to, in terms of training, getting out of old routines. This can apply to getting out of relationships that are bad relationships. This can apply to getting out of work or careers that are not the best for you, and in general, encouraging you to pursue other endeavors and open your mind and expand the concepts of what is available to you. Now, a lot of times people will explain to you things in terms of pursuing your dreams and taking chances from, a philosophical point of view, and that's, completely rational. But I wanted to actually give you even a more tangible way to assess the situation. So I'm going to refer to the Monty Hall problem, also known as the Monty Hall Paradox, which is a mathematical equation, paradox, theory, and it has been well studied and well documented. It might be kind of complex for somebody new to this, so I'll try to explain it to you in as simple a terms as possible without all of the mathematical mumbo jumbo. So the whole concept is based on a fictional game show, and that you are presented with 3 doors. And the host says that there's a car, for example, behind one of the doors, and you are to choose a door. So you can choose door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. So you do that, and you choose that one of those 3 doors, and then the host is going to open up one of the other doors. So he's going to open up a door, and that door is going to be empty. Now you're going to be presented with a second option. And the second option is, do you want to stick with your original door, or do you want to go for the other door and choose that one? And then you're going to find out if you have chosen correctly, and that either the door that you've already chosen or the new one will have the car behind it, and you will win that car. So when this theory was introduced, there's a lot of skepticism to it, but it proved 2 things, and those 2 things have been really well tested. I mean, they've both been tested from a scientific point of view, even using high-level computers, and also even on shows like Mythbusters, where they broke it down in more of a simplistic way. But in short, the 2 things that were derived from this is that the majority of people, when given the second option of whether to stick with the choice they had made or to go with the other door, they almost always stuck with their original decision. On Mythbusters, for example, this was done 100% of the time, which is a phenomenal number. And it says a lot about people's psychology. Essentially, as people, we want to play it safe. We want to stick with what we know, and we want to believe that the decisions that we've made were the right ones. And I've even seen people presented with a lot of facts to the evident, in opposition of something that they may have chosen, and they'll remain completely in denial about the situation. So An example of this is when I was living in California, I knew an investor who had invested several $100,000 in with a guy that was pretty shady. And it was pretty obvious to me on the outside that this guy's money was gone. Um, the person who he gave the money to ended up fleeing the country. Uh, you know, there was all kinds of legal situations and stuff. And I remember talking to the investor who had given this person several $100,000. And this guy was a smart guy. I mean, the guy had made his money being a doctor, and you know he had invested his money well. And in this situation, I asked him a few years later whatever happened, and he's like, "Oh, I talked to the guy, the scam artist, and this guy had told him, you know, I'm going to pay you next week." So this doctor told me, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get my money next week." And this is 5 years after he had given the guy the money. The guy was already in another country, and he was able to string this guy along that long. So somebody who seemingly would be very intelligent and rational just simply could not accept that they had lost that amount of money. And I've seen this uh, on many occasions. So I think that that's a self-defense mechanism within our psyche. It's hard for us to accept that we may have made bad decisions, and we will almost do anything to convince ourselves that we made the right decision. So I also think that what happens is that we feel that the decisions that we've made uh, were right for us, and therefore we should stand by them. And you see this time and again where people will get into, let's say, a bad relationship, and it becomes more clear over time that they're in a bad relationship, but they don't get out of the bad relationship. Or they're in a career that they're unhappy with and they don't get out. Or they're living a lifestyle they're unhappy with and they don't change it. And I feel that people feel that they are going towards security by sticking with their original decision, just like the Monty Hall problem proves. Now, the second part of the equation for this is what the actual probability is of getting the car. So what they found is that by not sticking with the original decision and going with the other door, your probability of winning the car greatly increases. And this has been statistically proven. Uh, how it works mathematically is somewhat complex. So I'll just break it down like this. Even though it appears that at the second phase, where you make a decision and it's either stick with the original or go with the second one, it seems like it's a 50-50 decision because it's one door or the other. But that's not true, because you have to add in the fact that you were originally presented with three doors altogether, and that changes the equation. Essentially, to break it down in layman's terms, you have more information now than you did in the past. And this also applies to life. So in life, every day you gain new information. So imagine you choose a career 10 years ago, and let's say you many years ago you decided to start a typewriter company, and now computers have come along. Uh, it may not be the best decision to still try to operate a typewriter company. Maybe you should do something else. Likewise, people will be in relationships, and maybe they find out that in this, when they first met the person, they thought the person was a certain way, and over time they got to know the person better, again presented with new information, and that person isn't the right person for them. Even as people, we change ourselves. So not only are we presented with more information to make different and more rational decisions, but as people, we discover more about ourselves and what we like and what we want. So based on that, you have to judge a decision today based on today, not based on something you decided in the past. So it'd be completely irrational to have chosen a person 3 years ago or a job 3 years ago and now discover that that is not the person or the job for you or the lifestyle for you, and then just stick with that and think, well, I made this decision back then, so it must have been the right one. The fact is that that is not statistically in your favor, because as of today, you have 3 years of new information that you have gained and new insights that you have gained, so you are in a much better position to make a decision for today. Another way this phenomenon, I think, plays out is that people that get into a situation where they're not happy, I call it like sort of a casino mentality, where you're at a slot machine and you've lost a lot of money at the slot machine. You think, well, I'm going to keep playing this slot machine trying to win my money back. And the fact is, there's the expression, good money after bad. So instead of maybe taking what's left of your money, accepting that you have had these losses, and go do something else with your money, continuing to put it in a bad slot machine is not going to produce a different result. You're just going to continue to lose more money trying to win your money back. So the Monty Hall problem, I think, is really transferable to our lives. We inherently want to play it safe, again, with careers, with lifestyles, with training programs, with relationships, all kinds of things. We want to stick with the decisions we made of the past and feeling that that's safe. But the truth is, we are much more likely to win if we make new decisions based on today and take chances and go with the other door. So I think that, that should really open up your eyes in terms of, instead of assuming that you're playing things safe by sticking with your decisions, in many ways you could actually be doing the exact wrong thing, which is counterintuitive. But really what you should do is you should break free, make new choices, take risks in your life, and pursue your dreams. So you may think that the job you have today or the relationship you have today is secure, even though it's bad. Well, guess what? You see this with companies where they suddenly close down. You see this where all kinds of things can happen in relationships. There is no security. There is no security in life in general. You could die tomorrow. So really, your best odds are to take the third door and to pursue something new. Even though that may go against your instincts and you have fear about pursuing something new, you should face that fear and realize that what's truly unsafe is staying in your situation. The worst case of this is really people who end up in relationships that are abusive or whatever the case is, and they stay in them for years, and it's just mind-blowing that they do that. I mean, you've got to imagine that almost any other situation is better than that. But people lack confidence. They think that they can't do better. Well, I am here to tell you that you can do better in life. You can get fit. You can quit your job and find a new opportunity. You can leave a relationship and somebody better will likely come along. And you will know yourself better, and you will meet and attract new people that are more in line with how you feel today than the decisions you made in the past. I have several friends who have pursued dreams in different ways, meaning that they may have moved to a new location, and it's a huge risk. They've moved to New York or California to pursue a totally new career, and I've seen it in almost every case work out. If for nothing else, they open themselves up to all kinds of new experiences, but just simply taking the chance and doing that, their lives are far better off than kind of the mundane life that they had before. So, in closing, pursue your dreams, take risks, uh, realize that the information you have today is what counts. It doesn't matter what decisions you made yesterday or last week or 4 years ago. You are a completely different person today, and you have a lot of new information that you have obtained in the meanwhile. So make decisions for today, no matter what they are. And if you're in a bad situation in any way, cut your losses now, and open yourself up for new opportunities. Like I've said in past videos, life is short. It goes by really fast, and we always regret the risks that we don't take rather than the risks that we take. So continue to dream on, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe, and I want to thank you for your time. Peace out.